Hey guys, how's it going? I probably should change up the lighting a little bit. It doesn't look the best. Let's see if we can't do something with that real quick. Uh, it probably made it worse, didn't it? Maybe? I don't know. See what we can do. Change a couple things up. That one's burnt out. I don't know if this has helped at all. Still a little wavy, or at least it is on my end. But how's it going, everybody? What do you guys want to talk about? I already have 22 people on. Like I said, lighting sucks, nothing in the background, but I do need to get a ring light. I don't want to cheap out and get the one for $5. I want to get the one for 40 or 50, and I just can't justify it right now. Like, I have the money, I just don't do enough vlogging, I guess you'd say. I mean, I could use it for the reptiles, but the reflection on the glass just really doesn't work, you know? How's it going, Ryan? Nothing much. I just got done watering the king. That was work. That did not go as easy as I was hoping. I actually posted that all on TikTok. If you guys are bored, want to go check that out after this video. Need brighter light? Yeah, probably. Mambas. Yeah, I like mambas. I'm actually working on a deal. I don't know if it's going to go through. I'm not going to hold my breath on that one, but how's it going, Stormy? Thanks for commenting on my post earlier. I posted, do you guys want me to go live tonight or tomorrow? And you said, I do believe you said tonight, but you would watch anytime. I do appreciate that. I read all the comments. Sometimes I don't get around to commenting back. But how's it going, random family man? We can talk mambas if you want to. Let's talk death adders. Death adders are interesting because a lot of people think they're vipers. Even some people from Australia say they're vipers, but they're not. They're elapids, but they actually do have hinged fangs slightly, which is weird, but whatever. Anything about coronavirus? Anything but coronavirus. Okay, fair enough. You know, I've worked a lot with reptiles, so I understand zoonotic disease better than most people. But I'll spare you the details on the coronavirus. We won't get into that. And I've done the math. We are screwed from the virus. I don't know. I definitely think it's something that we need to take into consideration. It's definitely not something we want to put on the back burner. We definitely need to focus in on it a little bit and be mindful of everybody. But I don't think it's nearly as bad as people think it is right now. But I think it's going to get bad. Black Mamba's doing wonderful, Peyton. I'm actually going to try to upload a video this weekend. I don't want to make a lot of promises and, you know, not get it done, but I really want to try to get a video up of him this weekend. I look like crap. I did not realize that. What was up with my hair? Hair's getting really long. I need a haircut, but I don't want to catch coronavirus. So, yeah, I'm not cutting it myself. It'd look worse. Biggest snake I have, either the king or the retic. I have a retic that's like 13 foot, maybe 14 foot. King's right around 14 foot. So weight-wise, the retic's got him. Lighting isn't too bad. Talk puff adders. Puff adders are sweet. Deadliest snake in Africa, in theory, kills more people than any other snake. All these comments are coming in very quick. So if I miss your comment, just try to ask again, and I will try to see as many as I can. Get the coral snake out. I don't have the coral snake here. That's a different building. Bushmasters are lovely. They are pooping and growing and eating as they should. Full tour of the reptiles. That's very difficult. I just had a pop up. Give me 1 second, guys. I got reptiles in all different buildings. So I am working through everything that I got in here and how I keep everything. And then we will work towards other rooms. But until I get a cameraman, I'm kind of not, yeah. How unrealistic is snakes on a plane? Yeah, I don't watch many movies like that, to be downright honest. Sorry, I'm reading all these comments. Is there any chance you could get the coral snake out? No, there is not. I don't have the coral snake here. So I should do another video on him. I've had to force feed him here recently, assist feed him. He was eating when I got him, and I put him, set him up right. I feel like everything's pretty dialed in. He just stopped eating. So I don't know. I put a little lizard in there because they eat little lizards in the wild sometimes. Put a little lizard in there, and he's like, "Nope, not eating that." He became friends with it. So that didn't work out too great. I did end up putting a snake in there. He didn't eat that. So I tried a different species of snake, thinking that this one had too keeled of a scale, thinking that maybe he didn't want a keeled scale, even though they typically eat corn snakes and they have a very lightly keeled scale. And he didn't eat that either. So been force feeding him some, which sucks. I don't have anything here that I necessarily want to take out tonight. Everything that I have here is pretty crazy. I don't have anything too calm. I got Madagascar hissing cockroaches as feeders. I don't feed them to anything because I kind of fell in love with them. I've got a crab. I've got a gecko that's going to bite me and get stressed out if I take him out. Oh, glad you could make it inside a tiny jungle. Uh, I finally figured out who you were on Facebook too. I did not know that we were Facebook friends because I follow you on TikTok. I had no idea, but I seen like, or last time I tried pinkies, like it was a frozen pinky, so after it unthawed, it was really soft. So trying to get it to go down the throat was not working in my best interest. So I actually took a rat tail and took a chunk of rat tail and put it down its throat, and he kept it down. So everything's going good in that aspect. Can you get anti-venom here in the US? Yes, you can. That is possible. You have to get like import permit, but I'll go into that more once I know more about that because that's a lot of there's a lot to it. So the only problem is I don't want to feed wild caught snakes to the coral snake, just because of like possible what's that called? Give me one second. The snake fungal disease. That's an issue. So I definitely want to watch that. Also parasites and all that. What do you think of leopard geckos? They're cool. I mean, they're good pets for sure. I don't have any. I look tired and stressed out. I've been up all day cleaning, so I mean, I don't know. I got a lot. I need to shave. The lighting isn't good. Might be stressed. I don't know. Maybe it's possible. What's my favorite elapid? That's tough. I'm gonna have to go with an elapid that I've actually kept, so then I know for certain. I really like mambas. I really like forest cobras, and everybody's like, those are the worst. If you've ever worked with them, they are. But they're kind of cool. I like them, and they're not like the worst. The worst. Like taipans are really bad. Like they're very springy, but yeah. I mean, mambas are pretty serious. I don't know anybody that breeds DKs. I don't know anybody that keeps really cheap snakes. I mean, no offense to DKs, but they're a dime a dozen. Um, Needless to say, a lot of the stuff I keep is extremely expensive, or at least quite pricey. So I don't keep up with all that. You have 74,000 followers on TikTok. That's pretty tight. I wish I could say that. I have like 19,000. How much was a coral snake? Pretty cheap. I'm just talking about cheap snakes. And then he was like, I think he's $75 or $100, one of the two. Give me a monocle or nausea, nausea any day. I used to use nausea, nausea as a code word for something, but that's beside the point. Back when I was working in a zoo, it's actually kind of funny. I don't know. Every time I read it now, I'm like, code word, but whatever. It's completely random. I know. Monocles. Yeah, I cleaned all the monocles of spitting cobras today. Uh, Cleaned zebra spitters and the Javan spitters, the Sputatrix. Fun. I didn't get spit on, so I'm really stoked about that. Ever going to get any Aussie Lapids? You have no clue how hard I've been trying. Like literally, I paid for some and I didn't get them. So it's stupid. I mean, so much work trying to get. And tried to work out a deal for like 3 weeks, and So far, I've been working like 2 months to get some inland taipans, and here we are. Not a single inland taipan. So whatever. I actually gave up on it. I'm just like not even worried about it anymore. How long did it take you to get comfortable with kings? I'm not comfortable with kings. Like a 9 foot king, I can deal with. Once it starts getting bigger than that, it's just I know how quick things can go wrong with kings. So to say that I'm ever going to be comfortable with them, I don't know. Always into the back of my head, I'm thinking about some videos I've seen of kings moving at just breakneck speeds. I mean, if you're working with a 15-foot snake, my opinion on working with venomous snakes is always stay out of strike range. I mean, if you're working with a venomous snake and you're always out of strike range, there's no need you're ever going to get bit. Working with a king, you can't. You have to, a certain degree, predict what it's going to do before it does it. Same way with mambas. Mambas get so big and they're so quick that you really just have to be able to read the animal. And I trust my intuition on being able to read the animal, know what it's going to do. But like if you watch my first video, I think it's my only video really with Scooby, I kept putting my hook on his neck because I've been charged by a king. And it was one of those like, oh crap situations, trying to get the king to back up. So I think he was just sitting there holding his ground, looking at me, trying to figure out what are you going to do next? What are we doing? And I kept putting my hook there just in case if he was to charge. So I really wasn't giving him the benefit of the doubt. But at the same time, I didn't get bit and he fared just fine from our interaction. So therefore, I think it was a success. But at the same time, people are like, wow, you look nervous. You look worried. In the back of my head, I'm always playing that king charging, and just a snake that big, 15 foot, it's huge. Yeah, there's still an inland taipan baby for sale. And I don't see the price of it. Like, I mean, I know how much it costs. It costs $1,500. I don't see paying $1,500 for a baby inland. I've seen them way cheaper. Yeah, I like frogs. I don't keep any. I used to keep some. I don't really keep any anymore, just because of requirements. If you get a really good bioactive enclosure, that's the way to go. But Tom's, I'm just going to call you Tom because there's a lot to your name. How's it going, man? Do I have any taipans? No, I do not have any taipans. Yeah, I totally agree with that. Inside Jungle, he did, and I don't want to do that. Like a lot of people free handle, and I just don't see the point. Like, I mean, if you do, more power to you, I guess. If you start getting bit, like the bad part is, like statistically, exotic venomous snake bites have went up through the roof here recently, and lulls have been going rampant. And I'm not going to put a strict correlation with free handling, getting bit, and lulls, but it could be tied in. I think the bigger problem is people having the animals and the animals getting loose is the real issue. But how do you fix that? I mean, it all comes down to the keeper. I mean, you can have a permitting process and you can make sure that everything's up to code, have a code, it's got to be like this in order to. But I mean, there's still going to be people breaking the law. Like out in California, they had a venomous snake get loose. You can't own exotic venomous in California. So, excuse me, do I know Tyler Nolan? No, I know of him. I have a friend that's good friends with him. And he's been telling me for probably 6 years now, you need to go hang out with Tyler. And I'm like, I don't know this Tyler kid you're talking about. And then he started doing YouTube. I'm like, oh, okay, gotcha. I remember his snake bite. I remember the day of that because I seen a post on Facebook. I think Tom Crutchfield posted it. But besides that, I hadn't heard much about him. Do snakes get older? Do snakes get slower when they get older like humans do? Andrew, that's actually a really good question. Yes, to a degree. I definitely think there's an eyelash that I work with that's really old. She's like 20, and it's not super old for an eyelash, I don't think. But an arboreal viper eating a rodent diet in captivity, it's a fattier diet. They're not going to live as long, needless to say. And she's definitely slowed down. I used to work with some berms that were like 20, 30 years old, and I had to watch how I picked them up and how I moved them. They were just, fragile. You didn't want to break a rib or break a bone or anything moving them around. So you had to watch whenever they would wrap around themselves. You'd have to watch how you move the coils. Are there coral snakes in Mississippi? I think so, isn't there? I would have to get out my little booklet. I don't know that right off the top of my head. They are the southeast all the way over to Texas. So I mean, I know they cut through Louisiana, so I would assume that they're down by Mississippi. That baby inland was 400. You should have hit me up on that one. I would have took that any day. Craig, I'm not going to say that. I'm very sorry. I've seen more lost changeover escapes too, for sure. Inside Tiny Jungle, we need to hit up on uh, TikTok again because I'm definitely looking for him for sure. I uh, I had a guy that was supposed to hook me up, and that just didn't work out. He totally failed me. So, do I have any normal pets? Not really. Just for the main fact I'm allergic to everything with fur, literally. Normal. I have a tokay gecko. That's pretty normal. For me, that's normal. Yeah, I can't think of anything else. I have a fish tank. I don't. I just have some little tetras of sorts in there. I can't remember exactly what all I have. I don't keep up with it. I just feed them and clean them and change water. That's about all I do. I don't really research fish or anything. What is the general cost of Bothrops bilineata? That's a pretty good question. I seen some going for like $1,000 a while back. They were smaller individuals, so I'm not sure. Like they're definitely pricey. The price changes a lot. The albino gaboons are pretty cool. I always wondered if there was going to be any morphs to the gaboons. And then finally it happened. So that's pretty awesome. No, we do not have any tiger snakes over here. I've never seen any tiger snakes. I've heard like 6 or 7 years ago they was going to import some, and I don't think it worked. So I don't know exactly what happened to the individuals, but how do I make money with reptiles? Or yeah, how do you make money with reptiles? That's a great question. I lose money on YouTube, so I am not a very good person to talk about that. When I worked in the zoo, I was just barely getting by. So yeah, they could, Kevin. A heavier snake could definitely break ribs if you don't use a wider hook. Wider hooks I find very bulky, very hard. I typically grab a snake higher up on the body if it's a big snake and hook just the front half of it. Um, Train going by. Anyway, I don't like grabbing the tip of a tail. I've seen people grab the tips of tails while they're tailing a snake, and the snake can't coil around your wrist, so you can pull back easier if the snake comes at you. But at the same time, while you're doing that, the tip of the tail, there's a lot of nerve endings, so you don't necessarily want to grab the tip of the tail of the snake. It's going to make it very keen on trying to get away. They go a little crazy about it. Joe, get off your phone. There you go. I can say that one. Yeah, puff adders are not an expensive snake. I bought my last ones for $75, which is scary because that's a very dangerous animal. Gaboons are typically chill, like they just are pretty calm. They have explosive power, force, speed. You don't want to take for granted that they're slow because they're just as bad as a Bothrops if you get them wired up, like a fertile ants. But with that being said, puff adders are always pretty punchy. You just want to be careful with those for sure. To take a bite from a puff adder, it's a life changing bite. Even if everything goes great, you could easily lose digits, lose a appendage. It just could go horrible. My tokays don't make much noise at night. I've already answered that question, I think. Phone's going off. Oh, yeah, no problem, Todd. It was a pleasure. Todd asked me about a Theris chlori. I can't say it. Echis. It's a type of bush viper from Africa. He had a little baby that wouldn't eat, and he had to tease feed it. So I kind of walked him through that a little bit, which I think you got it done before I even answered you, but send me a message on Facebook. I don't always get to my messages very quick, but luckily enough, I got to that one relatively fast, I think. I don't make money, Ryan, from reptiles. Oh, get out of here. The computer's going nuts. Sorry about that, guys. Are copperheads and water moccasins the same snake? No, they are in the same genus. So they're both Echistrodon, but they are totally different. They can hybridize, which is very rare, in the wild at least. And somebody's going to quote me and say, oh, there's been 75 hybridizations last month. Maybe. But a lot of people see young cottonmouths and say, oh, that's a hybrid because it's lighter in complexion. But a young cottonmouth is lighter in complexion and looks more like a copperhead. What are you doing, Scooby? Just messing with his logs. I do not still have my anaconda. I got really sick during that period of time and had to get rid of her. Favorite snake to work with? That's a great question. I don't know. There's certain snakes that I'm just envious of. I shouldn't say envious. That's kind of stupid, isn't it? But there's certain snakes I just hold up on a higher pedestal. I just look at them. I'm like, wow, I can't believe I'm working with that. A big king cobra, very impressive animal. Big bushmaster, even small bushmaster, very impressive animal. Fertile lance, any of the lance head vipers, very impressive. Animals like that, like the inland taipan, that's just a snake that's up here. Even though technically, like if you had an inland taipan here and a corn snake here, it's kind of, they don't really do much of the, they eat and poop and drink water. I don't really think they have a lot going on with their head. Like, I don't think they're the smartest snake out there by no means. But there's just, something about the most toxic, drop for drop, the most toxic. It's just, I don't know. If it holds a record, it's like the best at something, which is cool. William, that's a very good question. I would go back to a zoo, maybe. Like if it was a perfect, let's say I own the zoo, I would totally do it, even if I wasn't making like stupid money. Just making. Let's say I was making the same as your average zookeeper, but I kind of got to call the shots. I was at least inside the, being able just to say, no, I'm not going to do that like that. There's reasons why we do. The last that I worked for, it was micromanaged out the window. Like I couldn't make the decision to go on lunch break by myself. Like it was ridiculous. I like the YouTube because of the wider audience, yes. But I feel like there's people who watch me who like reptiles. A lot of you guys love reptiles. You already know a lot about reptiles. And then there's people that watch me like, this guy's going to get bit and I'm going to get to see it. There's those people. I think that there's like that 1%, that 2% of people that don't like reptiles that have seen my channel are like, oh, this guy's kind of cool, and watch it a little while and, end up liking snakes. That's really the person I want to target. But at the same time, like it's hard to, I think a lot of other people do it better than me getting out to a wider audience. That's why if you see me do like a clickbait video, I'm hoping that I'll draw some more people in that don't already, watch this kind of content. NARBC got canceled. Yeah, one of the biggest reptile shows, if not the biggest reptile show in North America, got canceled because of coronavirus. I think it was a good call, to be downright honest. I think statistically this is going to be a bigger issue than a lot of people take for granted. If we want to get into that for just a couple minutes, statistically, if you're over 80 years old, the 20% kill rate if you have a outlying condition like, let's say, COPD or something like that, or you smoke or you have issues with your lungs, you have a higher percent chance of dying. My grandma falls right within that category. My great grandma falls within that category. My mom's inside the higher bracket because of her age, So yeah, it might not affect me. I might be fine, but everybody that I really care about might pass away from it. So with that being said, I do like running numbers. My friends call me Rain Man, probably for a reason. I don't know. One thing that they do say that they take into consideration is that pretty much once we get the initial testing done, once we find out how many people are truly infected, they say that it's going to duplicate. Some people say this will happen every week. duplicated numbers, I should say. Some people say this will happen every week. Other people say that this will happen every 4 days. So, figuratively speaking, if we start at 1,000 now, and then 2,000, then 4,000, then 8,000, every week, by June we'll be at 1 million infected. That only affects 1 out of 325 people in America. So, but it is very contagious. And also, we don't know the long term side effects of this. So to say, no, it's just going to give you some lung issues. Okay, it might not kill you, but it could lead to a plethora of different long term side effects. Rocky Mountain spotted fever didn't kill me, but my legs hurt all the time. They feel weird. I can't wear pants because it drives me crazy, and I have to wear pants for work, unfortunately. So I don't know. Do I have any West African forest cobras? No, I don't have any forest cobras right now, and I want to change that because I love forest cobras. I love all of them, which I just split up the genus into what, 4 subspecies. But I really like those banded ones that have been coming in here recently. I don't know. Forest cobras are just neat, but they are the worst cobra to handle. Do a bite pressure video, Snake Me? That'd be cool. But I don't know how to judge that, and I really don't want to tick off a lot of venomous snakes to figure out their bite force. Are they hard to get? I'm guessing you're talking about the forest cobras. It just depends on the forest cobras. I've been seeing them go for like $200 to $300 here recently, which is really pricey because we used to pay like $75 for them because like 3 people in the United States want forest cobras. Like they're just, as a snake that will change your opinion on snakes, maybe not for the better. Thank you, Timothy. I do appreciate it. What was my first reptile? My first reptile was I had a green, well, no, it would have been my turtle. I had a green iguana when I was very young too. I had a turtle when I was 4. I had a green iguana too when I was like 5 or 6. But anyway, it was way back then. Tom, so you bought a non-venomous snake. You have a non-venomous snake question. You bought a Florida king snake, and she's inside her hide all the time for weeks now. Why? Two reasons. You have a heat lamp on the cage, and she's going to the hide to seek shelter because it's too hot. If that's not the case, it's a little snake. They have to hide. Birds of prey are out there searching for them 24/7. So therefore, they need to stay out of the line of sight of predatory animals. So therefore, it's going to hide all the time. That's just what snakes do. That's what a lot of people don't understand. Like forest cobras or cobras in general, or mambas. If they can get away, they will. They are not going to fight you because if a mamba bites you, you have 15 minutes of good life left, at least. You can easily kill that snake in 15 minutes. It's not within its best interest to bite you. It's within its best interest to get out of your house, to get out of wherever it's at. Now, that being said, if you got it cornered into the bathroom where it feels cornered, it's going to defend itself to the best of its ability. Same way of working with cobras. Anytime you open up a cobra enclosure, that's their home. I think that they're kind of territorial. I know that the kings are, but I think that a lot of cobras are. You open up the enclosure, they're like, this is my house. You better back up. Once you get them out of their enclosure, they're like, oh, this is kind of cool. Did you see that over there? And they just go off on their little tangent, just like I do a lot of times. I'm sorry, reading the comments. Yeah, Gaboon, he can tell it's moved by its pupils. Yeah, it's true. They use their pupils for a lot, but at the same time, that's one snake that'll catch you by surprise 90% of the time. They will flail. They do this thing that the way they flail, like I've literally seen them fall out of the cage onto people. Like it's just totally unexpected. So to say that that's just a really hard snake to work for sure. Colorado is awesome. Besides, the last time I was there, I had no cell service. Really sucked. Kevin, do I have coronavirus? No. I do look like crap, but I don't have the coronavirus. Even though you were starting fake reports that I did have the coronavirus. Thanks for that. I appreciate it. Thank you from Brooklyn, New York. Thank you for checking it out. I appreciate it. Hopefully you stick around. Thanks, Ryan. What's your dream animal? Dream animal? There's a lot. I would love just like a huge crocodile, like a monster crocodile. Like a 14-foot Nile. But that's a lot of work. Gold streak cobra would be cool. Taipans are fun. Not true. Love you, buddy. Love you too, Kevin. We need to hit up Domino's again here soon. A cobra striking at me. I might have actually caught up with the questions for once. That's cool. Oh man, started with an anole. I always had problem keeping anoles when I was younger. I don't know. I just always did. I don't know if I was keeping them humid enough. But weren't taipans pretty ill rated back? I'm not exactly sure what you mean, Brooklyn Head Blast. I don't know. Taipans are pretty neat. I like them, but pretty laid back. Yes and no. Inland, some people say are laid back, but they have a tendency to back up across themselves. Um, Coastals are a snake that they say 90% of bites, or at least Chris. I think it's Chris. Is this? I don't know. Chris from Australia. He's a leading guy. I see him all over YouTube with the venomous. He was talking about how 90% of bites from coastal taipans happen to the shoulders and chest because they have such strong bodies that they'll actually flail themselves back and bite you in the upper body. So they're serious. I know I've worked with Papuan taipans or the Papua New Guinea taipans. That animal is so fast, like so fast. Like there's nothing that fast. Like Tim Freed, I'm bringing up Tim Freed. I swear I bring him up every live feed, or someone brings him up. The guy that lets mambas bite him because he has immunity to venoms. He was unbagging a Papuan taipan or a Papuan taipan, and it bit him, and he said, "Thank God I do self-immunization because I have no plans on getting bit tonight." And he survived, did quite well, but they're just so fast. Chris Smith is a legend. I thought it was Smith, but I wasn't exactly sure. I didn't want to say it wrong. Thank you. I do appreciate it. You should get a Cayman. I got a Cayman. I got videos on my Cayman. I mean, the videos don't do well, but I've got a Cayman for now. That might change in a couple weeks. Zoo's been wanting him, so I might end up selling him to the zoo because he will be in very good hands there. They do just immaculate enclosures, so it'd be awesome to see him all decked out, California has nothing left in the stores. How is your area doing? Not great. I bought ahead of time. I knew it was going to be crap. So I didn't buy 74 cases of toilet paper because I'm one guy, why. But I did buy a bigger thing of toilet paper than normal. And I bought food, just a bunch of dry goods, some ramen noodles because I can live on ramen noodles if need be. And, some rice and spaghetti and stuff like that. And here we are. Now we're out of food and I'm still sitting okay. I just really wish I could have some barbecue, but whatever. I ain't got the meat for all that, so. I don't know. The official reptile of Arizona is Originos. Originos is like the coolest rattlesnake species on Earth. Like, I understand the Gila monster would be a cool state animal, or state reptile, I should say, but the Originos, which would be what the willardi, I do believe, those are neat little snakes. Plus, they're so rare. Do I have any geckos? Yes, Nick, I have one lychee anus, or as my friends say, lychee anus, or leaky anus gecko, lychee anus gecko, which is the new Cambodian, I do believe. the largest gecko species on Earth. Mine's actually a pine island locality, so therefore it's just not that big. It's like an island dwarf essentially. And then I have a tokay gecko, which is just it's just they're a beautiful animal, but they're kind of buttholes, you know. Morton, hey Brandon, thank you for keeping venomous reptiles. Uh, what kind of music do I like? I've been getting into heavy metal here recently a lot, which is not really like anything I grew up on. I grew up on a lot of rap, like Eminem and stuff like that. But I love Little Dicky, especially. I've loved Little Dicky since the day he came out with Ex Boyfriend. That was a hilarious song. I love comedy, and he is funny. But ever since he did Planet Earth, I just have so much more respect for the guy. That's an awesome song. If you haven't heard it, of course you've heard it. I mean, it was everywhere. But I really like Little Dicky. I don't know, Alex Terrible or whatever from Russia. I like his voice, very deep, very awesome. Uh, Lauren Babrick or whatever. I do believe she's a YouTuber. I don't think she's real famous yet. I like her voice. It's pretty awesome. But do I have any rattlesnakes? Yes. I have a lot of rattlesnakes on my channel. I don't have any inside the room with me that I can show you or anything like that. What's the difference between adders and gaboon vipers? So a puff adder is in the Bitis family, and so is a gaboon viper, and so is a rhino viper. So they're also the same family. They can all hybridize with each other. So I don't know. Adder is just a word. Like it's not. They're all vipers. So I mean, it's not. I don't know. Whatever. It's like saying the death adder in Australia. You think adder. I think viper because all the adders up. Like up in like the European adders and stuff like that. Those are all vipers. So you hear the death adder, you're like, definitely a viper. It's not a viper at all. And they say that evolutionary wise, that because Australia has no vipers, they're all lapids, that the death adder actually took over filling that niche, being on the ground, not being real fast, just being very fast striking and punchy. I've seen an opportunity there to adapt to be more of a viper-like animal. Little Dicky is hilarious. It's just good music too. Great beat. Am I ever worried about getting bit by a venomous snake? Of course, Roy, definitely for sure. Like it's always to the back of my head. I've known a lot of people to get bit. I've known people to pass away from venomous snake bites. Statistically, I'm also worried about driving to work. I got to drive like 40 miles and driving at breakneck speeds. I have been inside a car crash, but I've never been bit by a venomous snake. I think it all comes down to preparation, training, knowledge, and not taking chances. Now, yet again, I've heard of a guy that was walking. He had an enclosure aquarium. I think he had. It doesn't matter what he had. It could have been a vision as far as I. And he was carrying, and he dropped. He fell. He tripped. I don't know what happened, but he fell. We all fall. It happens sometimes. If you, excuse me, if you happen to trip and fall with a venomous snake, that's how you can get bit. You could be the best handler in the world, and that's how you can get bit. So accidents do happen, but if you take every precaution, there's no need to. If you've been bit 74 times, you're doing something. If you screw up once and something, I mean, it can happen. It could happen to any of us. But thank you, Ryan. I do appreciate it. I will keep making videos. I need to make more videos. Right now, I've been just a little slow on the uploading. I've been focused on TikTok. I've been working a lot. Been trying to keep up with everything, home life and everything. Just I want to get a lot of videos uploaded. The more, the merrier. Yeah, there's faint black lines scrolling. It's actually the lighting. The lighting wavelength and my camera wavelength on my computer is different, so it actually shows up. Um, I don't know. I turned on two different lights trying to get rid of it. That didn't work. So I could turn off the overhead light and hope that the other two lights are powerful enough, but I don't know if they would be. It might just get really dark in here. Was wondering about water snakes. When you soak them, would you give them water to drink, distilled water, or regular tap water? Distilled water is not good. Like it's very harsh. Regular tap is not good either. I like spring water would be okay. You could take regular tap water. If you have a well, it'd be perfect. But you got to worry about the chlorine and fluoride added. So what I do is I take regular tap water, I filter it to get out all the heavy metals, and then I pour that into a jug, and I use like the fish safe, like the water conditioner to take out all the chemicals. I just read the bottle and use it however, and then I just have my 5 gallon jug that I use to water everything that might be sensitive to that. Um, Big king cobras, monitors, stuff like that. I don't give two craps. But if I have a tiny little sensitive viper, that's something that I really watch out for. Water snakes could be very sensitive, so I treat them just like fish. Love the live feeds. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Um, do I have any opinion on rattlesnake hunts? Andrew asked. It just depends what you mean by rattlesnake hunts. If you want to go out sometime and look for a timber rattlesnake or catch something cool, I mean, not necessarily catch, because a lot of stuff's protected nowadays. But if you're just hunting for them, looking for them, yeah, that's awesome. Heck yeah, do that all day long. If you're talking about like what they do in Stillwater down in Texas, where they pour gasoline into den sites to flush out the Western diamondback rattlesnakes, to collect them, to abuse them in front of people for money, and then end up killing them, the death isn't the worst thing. If you want a pair of snakeskin boots and you're planning on eating a snake, okay, I guess. Like it's a little grotesque in my opinion, but I wear leather gloves for work, so I really can't judge you. But at the same time, to see pictures from Stillwater, Texas, where they're doing these rattlesnake roundups, where little kids are holding the Western diamondback rattlesnake, it's number one, so close to death it ain't even funny. Not only that, his mouth is sewed shut. I mean, if we sewed a puppy's mouth shut, would that be okay? Of course it wouldn't be okay. So why should you be able to do it to a snake? If that's the type of hunt you're talking about, no, no, never. I mean, like I would like to film the rattlesnake roundup just to bring more awareness to the people like you guys who enjoy reptiles, but I don't even want to go there and pay the $9 or however much it is to get in. I don't want to support them that much. At the same time, I would like to bring light to it, but a lot of people do bring light to it. It doesn't seem like anything ever gets done. Some of them get shut down, but a lot of them don't. So I don't know. It's crap. I do look tired, Jake. I'm glad you're back to YouTube too. I seen you're editing a video today. That's awesome. Get that up. I'll check that out. I don't know. It's got to be the lighting because I'm really not tired. I slept, I don't know, a lot of hours last night. I got up at like 10 o'clock and I went to bed at I slept over 12 hours last night for the first time in forever. So I'm actually well rested. I'm feeling good. Yeah, Jake knows his stuff when it comes to water. Reverse osmosis water, RO water. That's the way to go. But I don't have all that set up, but Jake knows his stuff. How did you feel after you had first time a close call venom snake? It made me nervous. It made me rethink a lot of things. It wasn't one of those. I don't know. It wasn't that close, but still, it made me reconsider. Exactly how I did things. My leg problem. So I got bit by the tick. Initially, my legs just started being really tingly, like wearing jeans just sucked. I didn't like it. It couldn't feel anything, but at the same time, it was bothersome. Then my ankles started hurting really bad. Then my knees started hurting really bad. Then my knees started giving out on me. And then I had veins bulge out on my legs, like vascularity. It looked like I'd been working out, doing a lot of squats and stuff, and I hadn't. I couldn't stand for any length of time at all. So I took the medication to cure it. Once I finally found out, I got a video up on all that, on how They figured that all out because they didn't. So a good friend of mine actually figured out what I had. But anyway, nowadays, my legs just are tingly, so like it just bothers me to wear pants if I can wear shorts all the time because the pain only starts at like right below the knee, like 4 inches below the knee and down. So long socks, you'll never see me wear socks, like long socks, like I wear them little anklet socks. But yeah, that's pretty much that. I try not to wear pants because it drives me crazy, but I have to for work because I'm a welder. So, what is the most expensive or rarest venomous snake? Supposedly they was going to import some gold streak overs a while back, and I think the pair was $10,000. I don't think the pair survived. They're from the worn, torn parts of Africa, so by the time you get them here, they're just rough. The field collected, and they're just not in good shape. Uh, I agree, Joe. The rattlesnake roundups are cruel for sure. If I'm missing a couple things, I'm trying to go through, but it's moving a little bit, so it's kind of hard, especially on my end. Um, Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate it, but I'm doing okay. It is what it is. I'm just glad I survived all that. But it's rendering right now. Be up tomorrow. Sweet. Do I keep anti-venom on hand? No, I do not. Technically, there's a lot to that. I have access to any anti-venom I need for the most part. There's some species I work with that just doesn't have anti-venom, but I there's a huge misconception, and I don't know. I've even had well-known herpetologists tell me this, and I think they're full of crap. I really do. You can't administer antivenom yourself. Like if you have an adverse reaction, if you are hypersensitive to it for some reason, like it's going to kill you. So to have it like in your possession right now, mm, mm, okay, not a bad idea. But in my opinion, it's better to have a hospital localized that if they will store the antivenom for you, if they're ran through all the protocols and everything, if they'll store it for you, now you just got to get to that hospital. That's your only goal to get there. And if your buildings are around the hospital, if your buildings are within, if that's the closest place, it only makes sense. I guess EMTs could start administering it. Maybe I mean that's doable. So maybe it would be better to have in your but if power goes out, this stuff has to be refrigerated at all times. If power goes out, that ain't good. So I don't know. It's kind of a catch 22. I see both sides, but Ottoman Viper, Ottoman Viper. Yeah, I think I would have to know the scientific name. I'm pretty sure I've worked with Ottoman Vipers before. I'm pretty sure I've worked with Ottoman Vipers before. I think it's been years. I don't know. I'll look it up later and let you know. What do I think of nerd buying the leucistic king cobra? I'm so happy it's stateside. I mean, no offense to the people in Indonesia or anything. I'm sure there's some great keepers over there if it's from Indonesia. I can't exactly remember the locality, but I'm just really excited to have it stateside. I don't know. Some hets came in as well, which hets, heterozygous, I do believe is the proper terminology, means like if you breed an albino or leucistic in this case to a normal, all the babies come out het. None of them actually look like a leucistic. But there's actually some hets that came into the country. So technically speaking, if you bought a pair of those, you could make leucistics yourself when they're big enough. But those are babies right now. I think they're all sold. I think there was like maybe $7,000 each or 7,000 a pair. I can't remember exactly what they were, but it would be 5, 6, 7, 8 years of work to get them up to size. So, do you do anything with full sheds? Sometimes. I have a thing. Need to post a picture of it. I don't know. Give me 1 second. I'll go see if I can't find it, and then I'll read some more questions. Thing. Okay, found it. Sorry about that, guys. This is actually something I made. It's a little screwed up from the move. It's a lampshade, Gaboon, Viper, and Puff Adder shed. Like I said, not perfect, but pretty cool. I like the way it turned out. I needed to use better glue, so if that ever comes apart, I'll have to re-glue it. I thought it was kind of neat. Um, I think you take it to the hospital with you, right? Yeah, you're right, Jake. Uh, I know I've worked with the genus that the Ottoman Viper's in. Sorry about that, guys. Checking out, seeing what the king's doing. He's rubbing right now. Just won't stop rubbing his nose. I don't know how to get him to stop. He's being a little butthole about it. I think I need to let him out, let him roam a little while. If I do, I'll make a video about it. Don't worry about that. Uh, How about I know dart frogs are cool, but have you seen the leucistic king, Jake? That thing is sick. Where have I traveled to see reptiles? Florida, Louisiana, Alabama, Arizona, through the Sonoran Desert, through the Grand Canyon, Virginia, up Shenandoah, just a little bit everywhere. It's a cool lampshade. Thank you. I appreciate it. No, the sheds are made out of like creatine or whatever, kind of like your thumbnail, right? So to a degree, so they don't really disintegrate unless exposed to like UV light or like I don't know. There's some bugs that eat it, but once it dries out, for the most part, it'll stay pretty decent. Like I mean, if you touch it much, yeah, it will start to disintegrate and get a little crappy. I just glued it on there, and it's been like that for 2 years, 3 years now. So yeah, like I said, I should have used better glue. That was my biggest screw up. But I didn't know that the spray-on Elmer's would not work. It's just regular lampshade underneath the sheds. Yeah, like I said, Stormy, the spray-on Elmer's, which was a bad choice. I should use if I would have used like hot glue or something, that probably would have been the way to go. But then the lamp could have made it, resort back to the soft side of being a hot glue. $1,000 a good price for a baby king cobra? Not really. Um, so king cobras up to 6 foot typically have a die off stage. So like figuratively speaking, if you bought two kings right now, probably only one of them is going to make it to adulthood. Just statistically, they don't do real great as babies. So if it's $1,000 and like 4 foot long, 5 foot long, 6 foot long, and it's eating well, it's eating rodents, $1,000 not too bad. If it's eating snakes, that's crappy. Hey Ashley, how's it going? I think it's the first time you've been on one of my lives. That's awesome. I appreciate all the nice comments you always leave underneath my videos. Sorry, I'm just reading through everything. Oops. What's cooler, rattlesnakes rattle or a cobra hood? I don't know. Rattlesnakes rattle's neat. I mean, comparative, like let's say that well, I mean, some of you do. You live in Australia. You don't have any snakes with rattles. You don't have any snakes with weird appendages on the end of their bodies. So yeah, it's a very weird adaptation. Cobra hood's interesting, but a lot of snakes flatten out their necks. Now I understand a hood versus flattening out the neck. That's different for sure. But I think a rattlesnake's rattle is very, very interesting. I think that like Iranian spider tail viper is one of the only snakes cooler than a rattlesnake in that in that instance. So head's going all over the place. I guess I don't know. I like Nerd for sure. Nerd's pretty cool. Just getting in on your guys' conversation. I'll let you keep at it, but Kevin's he's a real OG. Like he's been doing it longer than I have, and not many people can say that. So it's interesting. Like I don't know. Some people are like against like some of the stuff he's keeping nowadays or how he's keeping stuff, kind of like the Brian debacle. But I don't know. I really haven't seen much. Everything I've seen seems really well kept. All the information seems pretty accurate. I just enjoy him, bringing people into the community. It's awesome. So I don't know. Dinkelman, really cool guy. I think so. I love his accent. Just seems down to earth. But Itri B Bag 99. Why is everyone concerned about Tyler Nolan? If he dies, so what? It's a danger of Russian roulette. He knows the danger of Russian roulette. The bad part is if anybody dies from a venomous snake bite, that makes us all look crazy or like crap. So you really shouldn't chance it. I don't know. I just don't see the point in taking the chance, I'm the only YouTuber who doesn't have a super chat. I don't know. I'm bringing this to you for free. I don't really care. I mean, I need to do that eventually, but I just don't. I don't need the money right now. I'm doing okay. So I appreciate you guys. You already support me by watching the videos, sharing it with your friends. That helps out. Some of you guys have bought T-shirts. That's awesome. I do appreciate that. That helps out tenfold. So yeah, I don't know. YouTube's kind of on a decline right now, or at least mine is, but I haven't been uploading as much, so I understand that. It'd be nice if it was where it was at last month, because last month was an awesome month. But at the same time, I had the King Cobra unboxing, the Black Mamba unboxing, was still going crazy. So I'll try to get a little bit more good content up, and we will see if it takes back off. It'd be really cool if it does, because I'm actually talking to a guy about some Mambas. I don't think anything's going to come of it. I don't think I'm getting them, but he has 9 Mambas available that he's really wanting to get rid of. No offense to the guy. I think he's a good guy. I think he really knows a lot of stuff. But I think it would be good if he got out from underneath those 9 Mambas. He has a lot of stuff on his plate. So it would be awesome if I got those. It's East African and West African Mambas, and then 1 big female black for my male. So thank you, Roy. I do appreciate it. Yeah, I want to try to get some lives up. I want to try to do those on the weekend because I do enjoy talking to you guys. And enjoy just the one-on-one action. I can talk to you individually. Now, at the same time, I miss a lot of stuff, but I try to keep up. I try to let you guys have your conversations as much as possible. But I need to get more videos up for sure because I work with some amazing animals. I have probably 20 species of rattlesnakes you guys have never seen on my channel. So, I need to upload those 20 videos, Oh, that ain't right, Jake. Where's my OnlyFans page? Yeah, I'm not into the whole, that. I guess I could do feet pictures, but y'all don't want that. Trust me. I go barefoot in croc enclosures way too often for all that. What is my next reptile? I don't know. It's a good question. There's a pair of albino Burmese pythons I've been thinking about. So I don't know if that's low key. You guys are like, oh, Burmese python, cool, whatever. I don't know. I've been thinking, like I said, my friend's got those Mambas. I've been thinking really hard about those, but I don't necessarily need 9 Mambas. My ultimate goal in reptile keeping is to have a pair of black Mambas, a pair of East African greens, a pair of Jameson Eye, and then a pair of West African greens. Now, with that being said, they just split East African up into 2 species, and Gusiceps and Gusiceps nominatus, or is it intermedius? Can't remember. You guys tell me. I would like both localities, especially on the Jamesoni, because there's Jamesoni, and Jamesoni calamosa, and there's actually quite a bit of difference between the Jamesoni, and Jamesoni calamosa. But I think the East Africans we could just lump those into one group for now. I don't really worry too much about that. But if I was to get this group, like I said, it's only 4 East Africans, 4 West Africans, and then 1 black mamba polylepis. So I don't know. Like Jamesons are really cool. I did have Jameson's mambas, and when I got the one in, the biggest one, he had stomatitis of the mouth, which is a mouth infection, and I treated that for probably a month and a half. If I remember right, it was about a month and a half, and he succumbed to that. He didn't do well from that, and then about a week later, the small one passed away. Just passed away. I honestly have no idea what happened. It could have been a disease. A lot of times, those fresh imports from Africa are carrying a disease called paramyxovirus, which not a lot of people, or at least if you don't import a lot, or if you don't buy a lot of direct imports, you probably don't know what paramyxovirus is. But if you're afraid of coronavirus, you should be way more afraid of paramyxa. It'll wipe out your entire reptile collection overnight. It's an airborne virus. You can't stop. There is some research from some people. I'm not sure if it's okay to tell who's doing the research, but some people say that UV sterilization is the key. So if you keep UV on all your venomous snakes, it could combat the paramyxa. But I had that wiped through my collection once, and it was just the worst 2 weeks ever. It just took out everything. So very important that you do very good quarantines. I thought that if I had a room over here as a quarantine and a room all the way over here as a quarantine, separate side of the house, it'd be fine. I was wrong. It was not fine. But I do not have any green tree pythons or boas. Amazon tree boa, I do have one. He's kind of cool. He's yellow and he bites me, so I don't take him out too much. He really doesn't like me, so why? Do I keep non-venomous stuff? Not much, Jake. You know this. I keep a couple. Nothing too crazy. Trying to read all this. Sorry, guys. Energy is crazy right now. Yeah, the venomous hobby is tough. There are a lot of imports, but there's just not very many people breeding this stuff because it's hard to find a good market. If I was to breed black mambas next year by some miracle, figuring I don't have a pair, if I was to breed black mambas, who am I going to sell 20 baby black mambas to? Good question. So therefore, I'm stuck with at least 15 baby black mambas because I mean, who needs them? That's what it really comes down to. It's a dangerous animal even for the best keeper. Is it cold where I live right now? It's chilly. It's like 40 degrees. My preference to work with wild caught or captive born. I'm guessing that's your question, at least, Kevin. That's tough. I had a captive born mamba that was like the scariest snake I'd ever worked with. The one I have right now is captive born black mamba, and he's just terrifying. My wild caughts were afraid of me. Captive borns look at me like the food guy. So it's kind of a toss up. I don't like being chased around for food. How's it going, Andy? I'm doing well tonight. Just trying to keep up with all the questions, trying to read through everything. Will we be seeing me go on herping trips on my YouTube channel, Morton? Yeah. If I go on a trip, I'll take you guys with me. That's pretty much that. Unless it's just absolutely nothing to see. If I go on a trip and it's a total flop, we won't be doing that. But the ultimate goal is, I've mentioned this before, I'll mention it again. I want to build my YouTube channel, which I'm doing now. It's doing very well. It's actually really slow this month, is what it is. It's partially my fault. So I want to continue growing my YouTube channel as much as possible. My ultimate goal would be to retire in July. So that means I got to get all my bills paid down, everything paid down, some money in the bank. If I can do that, depends on the economy. Right now it's totally crashing. If I can do that, then I will go down to Florida. I have a friend that just bought a house down there. He's like, come down here anytime. So I can go down there anytime I want to. I can be in Florida. I can be messing with the Burmese pythons. I can be messing with rattlesnakes. Doesn't matter. I have a friend that just bought a house in Arizona. so I can go out in the middle of the desert of Arizona anytime I want to. I have a friend, another friend who just loves to travel. So if I'm like, hey man, we need to go to Costa Rica, let's get some bags packed. He will go to Costa Rica with me. Therefore, I got a cameraman in Costa Rica. So if we want to go to Australia, we can go to Australia. I mean, we got to worry about the money, but at the same time, as of right now, I'm doing okay. So it all depends on, you know, how this year turns out. My big problem right now is I'm working 60 hours a week at a job. If I'm not working 60 hours a week, I have all this time on my hands. My videos get a lot better. I get a lot more videos out there. Plus, I can travel to make the videos. So, Jake, you're crazy. What site that sells venomous snakes would you recommend? None of them. And the reason I say that, like, the sites that I know that sell venomous snakes are like sites of communal people, like me selling a venomous snake. I want to sell you the best snake I possibly can, but at the same time, there's a lot of people who aren't that aren't good to deal with. It's very important that you just know who you're dealing with in the community. If you see a pet store that's selling venomous snakes, there ain't very many good ones. Uh, Most of them are just direct importers. I just wouldn't deal with any of them, to be quite honest. There's a couple that I haven't had bad doings with, but I don't want to tell you them, and then you end up having a bad deal, you know. So, what's the best starter cobra to start with? There's really all cobras kind of suck. Monocles aren't too bad, but their venom is just so toxic. Like to compare them to a king, they're way more toxic than a king cobra. Uh, there's really not. Like cobras are serious, every one of them. Like they're all extremely venomous, and they all really mean it. But thank you, Ryan, for checking out the video and chatting it up. I do appreciate it for sure. Not exactly sure what you guys are talking about there, so I'll just let you keep getting at it. Welding channels on YouTube also do really well. I don't know. I've never uploaded a welding video. Like I don't have this set up at my house, so I'd have to film it at work, and they would not like that. So, I mean, probably, but I don't know. And I'm sure it's a pretty saturated market with the welding because there's a lot of welders who want to teach other people how to weld. So I don't know. I could probably do that. At the same time, it'd be tough getting into it. You're in Ontario? Yeah, I bet it is chilly in Ontario. It is chilly here. We've had a couple nice days, but coral? Yeah, Jake, I got a coral snake if you haven't seen it. It's pretty cool. -6 degrees Celsius. Yeah, that sounds chilly. Yeah. What about your old basketball trick shot videos? Bring those back. Yeah, that was boredom right there, Jake. I don't think that video did well enough to, put food on the table, but maybe I should, do perfect. They're killing it. So, do you like Carhartt for clothes? Yeah, they're a pretty good brand. I have a Carhartt jacket that I wear a lot. I shouldn't say that. I don't wear sleeves, but I mean, they're decent for sure. It's held up through the years. Peyton false water cobra is the best starter cobra. Not really, because it's not a cobra. The scientific name is Hydrodynastes. And then, of course, the actual cobra is Naya or Naja. They're not even related at all, like none. You go all the way back to classification. I mean, so you have a lapid and colubridae, and the Hydrodynastes is definitely not an lapid. I'm pretty freaking sure it's colubridae. I know it is. We're Googling it. Let's get to it. I know it is. I don't know why I'm second guessing myself on this. I do that a lot. Hydrodynastes. Yeah, family Colubridae. So, with that being said, I mean, to compare a colubrid to a cobra is just, I mean, there's no point. It's not even within. A false water cobra, yeah, if you want to consider that like a venomous compared to a cobra, but I would not go from a false water cobra to a cobra ever. False water cobra, if you get bit by that, like even like chemically stimulated, the max venom yield on hydrodynasties of false water cobras, 3 mg. It would take 100 mg of venom to kill you, much like most species of rattlesnakes. Therefore, you're only 1/30th a lethal dose of venom, giving it everything. And then most cobras take 30, 40 mgs of venom to kill you. I mean, it's a wide shot there. There's a big area of gray that I'm listing. But still, with that being said, and they don't work the same. Like a false water cobra does not strike like a cobra. They're weird. They'll back up on a hook weird. They're weird. They don't move like other snakes. Oh, coral cobra, Jake's talking about. Yeah, but that's not a cobra either. It isn't a lapid. I mean, that's a start into the right direction. Only bad part about a coral cobra is number one, they stay tiny. It is good because they stay out of the strike range. It's easy to stay out of the strike range, but at the same time, a coral cobra has no anti-venom. So if you get bit and you actually have a pretty serious bite, there ain't anything they can do for you. You know, put you on life support and hope for the best. African vipers, they're doing very well. So 4 of them, all 4 of the Nietzschei did end up going out to my friend, and he's having a little bit of issue getting them started feeding, but I'm sure they'll pick up. They're just a little tricky at first. They get stressed very easily. There is a red cobra, Morton. It's the Naja uh, pallida, which is the red spitter. I do not have those because they spit like water hoses, just venom everywhere, and I don't want that. After I got spitting cobra venomous in my eye, I'm not about that life. Uh, but I do not have any red snakes. I do work with some red colored rattlesnakes, and you guys will be seeing those in the upcoming weeks. But otherwise, no, I don't. I definitely don't have anything on me right now. Yes, the red spitter. Uh, I guess if I would have just read down, you were giving me the scientific name, but it's a pronunciation that I struggle over. Tiny doesn't sound too bad to me. Yeah, I understand, Jake. They are good size wise. It's just the fact they don't have anti venom that makes them a little, you know. Jake, I mean, coral cobra venom or coronavirus. I'll take my chances. Man, I don't know. Popcorn cobras are great starters. Yeah, that venom's horrible. Those things are so toxic. I had my close call with the ones I worked with, plus the spit. I don't know. They're buttholes. But whatever. Talking about snow, South Dakota. I'm so glad it's not snowing. Apparently, it was slick this morning. My friend said it was like sleety outside. I don't know about that. I didn't get up early. Like I said, a little like crap because I slept in. That's what a lot of people don't understand. I do better on no sleep than I do some sleep. It's like a lot of sleep, I just get, I don't know, in my head, I guess. I get droggy, swollen eyes, end up looking like this. But let me see what time it is, guys. I might have to be going here soon. So 11:38. Grandma's probably still awake. I'm gonna have to call her before I go to bed. I tried calling her earlier, but she didn't answer. Want to make sure she's doing good through all this. She's got food. She's got toilet paper, but still just want to check up on her. Try to annoy her at least once a day. Make sure she's doing okay. If you guys ain't following me on TikTok, make sure you go check that out over there because I do a couple. I do some videos with Scooby on there, just a little short, like, hey, here's Scooby, check him out, the King Cobra, that's cool. I need to do a King Cobra video with my big female, my only size female King Cobra. I need to feed Scooby here soon, so I'll be videoing that. I am also working towards a new enclosure for Scooby, a bigger enclosure, like a plastic enclosure, so I can keep the humidity way up as much as possible. I'm also going to be feeding the Bothrops, the fertilants, here pretty soon. We'll be working on that video. I have a bunch of rattlesnakes I want to show you guys. It's amazing. The second I start talking about what I'm about to do and the fact that I might be going to bed here soon or calling grandma here soon, like the viewership just tanked. That was sweet. But need to do some monitor videos too, but I hate getting bit on camera. I always think it looks immature. But yeah. Thank you, DRIL. I don't know. Dry, I'm guessing. Dre? It wouldn't be Dre, would it? Maybe? I don't know. I do appreciate it. I will keep up the work. You too, Morton. You have a wonderful night. You have a wonderful sleep, Ashley. Good night. And yeah, that about sums it up for me, guys. I'm going to call Grandma and figure out what I'm doing on those Mambas. I might start a Patreon soon if you guys are interested in helping support the channel. I'll get that debt paid off a little bit quicker, and we'll do some traveling, go to some different shows, and get out in the field a little bit more. I would love to go check out Jake's stuff that he's working on with the frogs, but I don't know if that's even possible. So we'll find out. Talking about monitors here. Training monitors, not rats. I'm not exactly sure what you're talking. Mink Man? I'm not sure who that is. You have a great one too, Code Mist, I do believe. Is how you say that. No, it's all good. I might end up doing something tomorrow night. I'm not exactly sure. I might try to do it a little bit earlier on that day, maybe 5 o'clock or something. I gotta go pick up some rodents, but after that, yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Might end up getting a live up then, just a little short something. So if you guys end up going to bed tonight, that's cool. Then come over and tour the place. That'd be sweet. I'd like to make a video. I like frogs. I just don't know a lot about them. I've also been thinking about making some bug videos here recently. I don't know how they would do though. But I will post on my channel, like if I'm doing a live tomorrow, what time I'll be doing it. So I might post a TikTok about it too if you guys are following me on there. So I can hit you up and be like, hey, I'm doing a live in an hour, give you a little bit of fair warning. But anyway, like I said, going to go call Grandma. Y'all have a good night. Thank you for checking this out. See you soon once I figure out how to end this live. There it is.